Beauty's family lived in a big city near the sea. Her father was a rich man with 3 daughters and 3 sons. One daughter was called Beauty because she was truly beautiful. She had long red hair, a kind heart, and loved reading books and playing the piano. The other 2 daughters were Rosalind and Hortensia. They were lazy, selfish, and only cared about parties and finding rich husbands. They didn't like Beauty because she was beautiful and gentle, while they were mean and spoiled. One day, Beauty's father lost all his money when his ship sank at sea. He returned home sad and told his children, "We must leave this house and move to the country." Rosalind cried and said it was terrible luck. The brothers were upset too, but agreed to work. Beauty stayed calm and said, "We can still be happy without money." The family moved into a small cottage in the countryside. Every morning, Beauty woke up at 4 a.m. She cooked, cleaned, washed clothes in the river, and never complained. Her brothers tried to help, but Rosalind and Hortensia did nothing. They slept till noon and walked in the woods all afternoon. Beauty's father watched her with pride and told her, "You're a wonderful daughter." A year later, Beauty's father got a letter saying one of his ships had arrived at the port. Everyone was excited. Rosalind asked for new dresses and shoes. Hortensia wanted jewels. Beauty simply asked for a rose. When the father reached the port, he found the ship empty. Heartbroken, he wandered into a forest, cold and tired. Wolves howled nearby. Suddenly he saw a glowing castle. He went inside, ate, slept, and found fresh clothes in the morning. Before leaving, he picked a rose from the garden for Beauty. Suddenly, a beast appeared and roared, "You took my rose! For this you must die!" The father begged for mercy and explained it was for his daughter. The beast gave him a choice. One of his daughters must come to the castle instead, or he must return and die. The father returned home with gold and gave the rose to Beauty. He told them everything. Rosalind and Hortensia blamed Beauty, but she made a decision. "I won't let you die," she said. "I want to go." Her father cried but finally agreed. The next morning, Beauty and her father arrived at the castle. During dinner, they heard a loud noise. The beast entered. He looked terrifying with dark fur and glowing eyes, but he spoke gently to Beauty. He told her father he could leave but never return. Beauty asked if they could rest there for the night. The beast agreed. That night, Beauty dreamed of a fairy who said, "You've got a kind heart. You'll find happiness soon." The next morning, Beauty said goodbye to her father. He cried as he left, alone in the castle. She explored the beautiful garden and found a room labeled Beauty's Room. Inside was a mirror, a piano, and many books. When she opened one, words magically appeared. "Welcome, Beauty. You're safe here." Looking in the mirror, she saw her father crying. Then she saw her sisters laughing and enjoying life without her. At lunch, she played the piano. Later, she walked in the garden. At dinner, the beast joined her. He asked if he could sit with her. She said yes. He then asked if he was ugly. Beauty hesitated but answered honestly, "Yes, but you're kind." The beast smiled and said, "I may be ugly, but I care about you." That night he asked, "Will you marry me?" Beauty replied, "No." The beast left, hurt, but still offered her a chance to visit her family, with one rule: return in a week. He gave her a magic ring. "When you're ready to come back, just place it on your table." 3 months passed. Beauty read, played music, and walked in the garden every day, but she missed her father. Every evening, the beast visited and asked the same question, "Will you marry me?" And every night, she said no. One night, she asked why he kept asking. He said, Because I hope to hear yes someday. She told him she would always be his friend. He replied, and I will always be yours. One night she saw her father in the mirror again. He looked lonely. Her brothers were away and her sisters were married. So she asked the beast if she could visit her father for 1 week. He agreed but reminded her to return in 7 days. Before leaving, she placed the ring on her table and suddenly found herself back home. Her father was overjoyed to see her. She showed him the chest of beautiful clothes the beast had given her and offered some to her sisters. The chest vanished for a moment, but then reappeared. Her father told her, "They don't deserve these. They never cared for you." Soon, Rosalind and Hortensia arrived. Their husbands were selfish and unhappy, but they pretended to love Beauty and begged her to stay longer. She agreed to stay for 1 more week. But as days passed, Beauty began to worry about the beast. One night she dreamed of him lying in the garden, dying. He whispered, "I can't live without you." She woke up panicked, placed the ring on the table, and returned to the castle. She ran to the garden and found the beast lying on the grass, barely breathing. She splashed water on his face. His eyes opened. "Beauty," he whispered. "I'm dying, but I'm happy you're here," she cried. "Don't leave me." Suddenly, lights flickered across the castle. Fireworks lit the sky. Beauty turned around and saw a handsome prince. "Thank you," he said. "The spell is broken." Beauty stared at him. "Who are you?" The prince smiled. "I was the beast. A witch cursed me. Only true love could save me." He held her hand and asked, "Will you marry me?" This time she said, "Yes." They walked into the castle and found her whole family there, even Rosalind and Hortensia. But they weren't moving. They had been turned into statues. A good fairy appeared and said, "They are bad, lazy, and unkind. They can see and hear everything until they learn to love others." The next day, Beauty and the prince got married. People danced and sang. Flowers rained from the sky. Beauty cried, "I'm not crying because I'm sad," she said. "I'm crying because I'm happy." The prince held her hand and said, "We'll be happy forever."